forget, there is an House of Assembly member currently who are defected from All Progressive Congress, Honorable Nelson, who have defected from the All Progressive Congress and then joined the People's Democratic Party. Where was the speaker then? Why was that seat not declared vacant? So it appears it is only when it favors the ruling party. That is when, this particular section of 109 is in silence. So when you now, seemingly oppose your own interest, then you now want to activate the constitution. So what I'm saying in essence is, as at this morning, as I'm talking to you, I am not aware, and none of those members have communicated to us that they have tendered their resignation letter to their political parties who sponsored them to the House, so that they now seem to have been defected from the party that sponsored them. And if that has not been done, then the speaker summoned a meeting with about how many members and then sat in the House of Assembly, declared the seat of those people. That is the most erroneous thing to be done in a democratic dispensation that we are. So it is unlawful and it is against public policy. It is against even the ethics of our political system. And nobody has such monopoly of power. Because what you are doing, if it is to be allowed, it means that tomorrow there is going to be another chaos. Don't forget, under the speakership of Right Honorable, Onofriolu, they even had to be divided. There was polarization where the members of the House, they have a factional leader, a factional speaker, and then they brought the House of Assembly to disrepute. It was such a shameful act in the state. And if this is what they want to encourage again, we should all condemn it.
All right. One of the issues arising from this particular situation has been the question of what will happen to the representation of the people where these two seats have been declared vacant. I recall that we have just a few more months before this present crop of leaders vacate their respective seats. So first question is, what are the legal avenues open to the two leaders whose seats have been declared vacant, and how would these affect the representation legally and the people they represent?
Yes, that is even the basis where I was even saying that the people were elected to represent a group of people. Until you own seat and then deprive the people you represented such leverage. You deprive because by declaring their state and what they do, normally, don't forget, even if that seat is declared, you would have not determined his tenure. You've not determined the validity of his election. It is only the court of competence jurisdictional tribunal that can do that under the provision of the Constitution. And so when you are saying this person is no more a member to representing a certain group of people that he represents, what are you now saying? No, it is only those people that have the right to record the person that they send to represent them. So that is the basis. I'm saying that the speaker does not even have the power. He doesn't have such power to, deprive the people, a group of people that these people represented are in the House of Assembly, to say the least. What they are trying to do is, there's a precedent. There's a precedent that the court even affirmed. Don't forget, what happened during when the 5 House of Assembly members, Honorable Idasin representing in 2, Honorable Gabriel Toby representing Tenekbo, Honorable Victor Udofia representing Kono, Honorable Otuekong representing Paulinus, and Honorable Ntentwe. What happened then was, when they defected officially, they were the one that approached the court. They were the one that approached the court and asked the court to stop the speaker from, declaring that it's vacant. So when the court eventually gave, judgment to say, by defecting, you've already on your own, forget. Because what Section 109 says, this person shall forget. It is on its own. It's on its own motion. Now, the court said, by defecting, you have already declared that your own seat vacant. So I cannot restrain the speaker. But don't forget, they were the one that went to court. It's a different thing when you are speculating. You have no evidence to say this person has communicated to you, I am no more a member of this social political party, and then you begin to act. So the legal, remedy that is available to them is to approach the court. Because, like I said earlier, they cannot resort to self-help, like what happened in the last administration, where you have fractionalized, speakers and members, sitting in their own number to, act indiscriminately. We cannot support that this time. So they can approach the court. And then if it is true that the speaker is with a certain person, I mean, there is the freedom of association allowed under section 40 of the Constitution. So if somebody associates himself with Mr. A, you cannot give that to be that is the victim of your political party. He must communicate. He must do that officially. And the law is even saying in the house where the proceeding is carried out, there must be evidence presented by members of the house, and they would even deliberate on it, having formed a quorum to decide whether this person has, defected, and the evidence presented to the, before the house is cogent enough for you to even act. That is because the law is saying the speaker shall now give effect. He is giving effect, not on his own motion to someone meeting and then come and say the person has defected with the case taken. You don't do that. It is presentation by the house on cogent ground, evidence.
All right.
This person has defected, and the speaker can now give effect. So if the affected members have not, so furnish the house or any of their political parties such, letter or information that of their defects, we can approach the court.
All right.
To say that side such rascality. Because we cannot continue this way.
All right. Thank you so much, Barrister, for giving us your legal voice to the issues. We
practice the solution that we claim to have. It's becoming worrisome. Don't forget there is the division of power. So that this thing can be checkmated. The House of Assembly is an independent body, for goodness sake. They should not be influenced by the executive. So a governor that should be checkmated by the House of Assembly, the House of Assembly is now becoming a stooge. So the governor can sit down and call Mr. Speaker to, act this way. And then suddenly you go like a boy. What does that mean? So the legislature had to act separately. The executive will checkmate each other, and then the judiciary. So what I'm seeing more often is that the House of Assembly, they have lost their own power. They have lost their power. We are now enslaved by the executive.
All right, thank you.
What you are seeing now is an act that is perpetrated by the executive, who has summoned the speaker to act this way. In order to yourself for nothing.
Thank you very much, Barrister. We have to let you go for want of time. We appreciate you coming on the plenary.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for having me.
All right, so we had to seek legal backing to the action that took place on the floor of the House of Assembly in Akwa Ibom State that has generated a lot of reactions, and we were expecting to speak with Honorable Sorok Panuso, and as soon as his call connects, we'll also speak briefly with him, but shouldn't that happen, I think a discuss with the barrister suffices. But let me come back to the floor of the House this morning. As a parliamentarian who has been following activities, let me start with you, Parliamentarian Success. The issue of declaring seats vacant. What's your reaction?
My reaction is very simple. Just like I've been on the voice of saying no to state police will bring civil war if you allow state police. A typical example is the House of Assembly. A Speaker of House of Assembly declaring the seat of his colleague without a quorum and without also a doctrine of necessity, considering those constituencies you are declaring their state vacant. The House of Assembly, the Speaker is also expected to know the law that all representatives, including him, represent the good people. That is why the House of Assembly Speaker only feel that he is the Speaker of the House of Assembly without knowing that he is representing Udwan. Look at the road in Ibiakodwan. And this is his constituency. He has not visited this road or calling on the state government to come to the fact that Udwan does not have a road. He is the Speaker of the House of Assembly. Economic government has also been befallen this. The last dispensation under an effort deal, Victor Odofia was removed 1 year, 6 months from the House of Assembly, denying the good people of Ikono. Among all that happening, no road in Ikono. A lot of things that befallen us, nobody that speaks for us in Ikono. It has come again to under the hedges of Speaker Ndekan Basi. You want to deny Ikono again? When we don't have road, where a lot of things are happening in the corner, and we don't have a voice in the House of Assembly, where is doctrine of necessity? As the Speaker followed the law? Now, if someone said, there are a lot of court pronouncement on declaring seat vacant, A political party is only a vehicle that sponsor or that took you to a destination. You can stop this other vehicle and join another company. If I follow AKTC to Abuja, I can go with Capital Express when I'm returning. If someone is in the house, the vehicle that took him there refused to carry him back, he has a choice. But even if when the House of Assembly member does not even make announcement, the Speaker has to declare and allow a constituency like Ikono, a local government that has no road, and the hospital and a lot of things are declaring to allow us not to have a voice. It's laughable. It is condemned. This is not democracy in action. This is a slap on democracy. This is a slap on the good people of Esere Gedibiona. This is a wonderful slap on the people of the cradle of Ibibiona and the Ikono people. It is a slap on us. We want Mr. Speaker to remedy himself, focus on legislative work. I want the speakers of the House of Assembly and other members to tell the Speaker to refrain himself from this. Every political party has right to sponsor someone. But the law has stated that, I'm not a lawyer, and the law has equally stated that people that goes into political office, the political party can sponsor, but people vote people into power and not political party. He did not vote for PDP, we vote for Honorable Asuquo Nana. So he should allow our representatives to be there and do law for us.
All right, let's welcome contributions from parliamentarian. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning, parliamentarian.
Yeah, I've heard you still mentioning the worship center and the other one mentioning Dakada. What is Dakada? You see, this has been the problem. It's not to know where God is leading us. When this present governor came in, he mentioned he just included that some people take it as a philosophy. It's more revelational than philosophical. So we got to know something before we say it, because it affects all of us. Even the government himself mentioned. I remember I was there during the launching. He said he didn't even know the thing is in the Holy Bible. So God is directing us. Okay, like the building of the worship center. Let us be very careful with something that is going to be punished. We may commit sin we don't even know. And that thing can bring problems that are so many people. We got to take note of this. So by the time we talk about the Dakada is more revelational, because I don't know where some of us were in 2004. And usually the evangelist came to this state and was talking much about revelation. But when I see this present governor coming to mention Dakada, I mean, that man was hanging on that. So he said, whoever will call that thing to come to pass, I don't know what is going on. I think if I'm given opportunity to explain what Dakada is all about to people, then they will really know that they are the problem of themselves. In fact, this is the problem. We've got to take note of this stuff. God has blessed us so much with the natural.
All right, thank you very much, parliamentarian. You've exhausted your time. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, parliamentarian. Can you speak up, please? We can hardly hear you.
Okay, you're speaking with Kufra Isong from Nkari.
The floor is yours.
I want to come. You are speaking Kufra Isong from Nkari, the low government area.
All right, go on. The floor is yours.
Okay, I want to commend your guests there in the house and the wonderful work you people are doing there. He said something about Nkari. You know, me that is from Nkari, I want to tell you that I went to school using what we produce there. We have so much in Nkari. Are we talking about cassava? Are we talking about cocoyam? Are we talking about rice? Are we talking about yam? Are we talking about the dam project? But this is Nkari that has been feeding the nation, Akwa Ibom State. When you're talking about the food basket of Akwa Ibom State, I know it's in it, but when it comes to Nkari, we have a whole lot of it. But over the years, the government himself have not been helping out. You know, Nkari that is producing all this agricultural produce have been feeding the state. We don't have roads. There is no electricity. There is no water. The insecurity there is something to talk about. Is it the hospital that we don't have? What do we even have? But yet we are producing this. Please, I want the government to step in down. They should step down to the grassroots. They should come to Nkari and see how they can help us. If they can come, not that the government have not been giving loan. They have been giving a loan to agriculturals, but who are those that have been receiving this loan? You see that it is those that don't even have farm. Those are the people that even receive the loan. It is those that is not even doesn't know anything about farming, know anything about. So those are the people that is even earning from this loan. The government should step into the local area. They should step into that side and make sure maybe they form these farmers into corporations. They should go as cooperative society where they can have access, where these people can have access to them. They can have access to loan and help themselves. Honestly, Nkari is blessed with agricultural produce. They are blessed with a fertile soil. See, whatever they are planting there, the cassava you're talking about, they don't even apply cassava to it, the fertilizer to it, because they don't have.
All right, thank you very much, Parliamentarian, for giving us that detailed information. It's good to hear directly from people who are in the region. But let's take some of the comments we have on the social media page where Parliamentarian Henry Uwa says, the court, good morning, Mr. Speaker. The court, as they say, is the hope of the common man. But sadly today, the courts are now tools for repression. I expect ASUU to call off the strike, hoping to continue negotiation with the incoming administration. It is obvious most people do not know the value of education. That's coming from Parliamentarian Henry Uwa. And Parliamentarian Hope Umoh Jr. says the People's Parliament movement from one party to another is free, but they should remember that the party with which they came on board will not watch them defect without consequences. Wike is a rally causing huge problems for PDP, but I feel IE should resign. PDP should choose a chairman outside the North. Parliamentarian Prince Edet says that, Mr. Speaker, good morning. Concerning ASUU strike and the court case, is ASUU the owners of the federal universities or federal government? Is ASUU the only union that federal government is owing? They should go back to class while negotiation is ongoing. Parliamentarian Basi James says, if Atiku has illegal take... Okay, I have to skip this. I have to skip that comment. Parliamentarian Bro John says the People's Parliament, Akwa Ibom State government can afford available large hectares of land that can produce cassava, rice, beans to go around the state at affordable price, but they prefer to waste funds on misplaced priority projects. Can industrial court pay the salaries of lecturers? There is need for us to make an appeal for our educational sector to be revamped to meet the standard of the world, and I commend NANS on their stance against the industrial court. Parliamentarian Michael Akpan says, good morning, the People's Parliament. Mr. Speaker, I congratulate Akwa Ibom State and the Digital Governor on the 23rd anniversary. This is not 23rd anniversary, Parliamentarian Michael, is the 35th anniversary of the state. This is the full video of Gloria and Nana Street at Osama Estate. Thank you very much. All right, Parliamentarian Michael Akpan, thank you for the video, but please kindly help just forward it to my WhatsApp and other details that you had dropped via my WhatsApp 09077871987. That would help. Thank you very much for the update on Anana Estate. Parliamentarian Nabok Uko says, regardless of these, I believe we shall overcome. This faith can give us courage to face the uncertainties of the future. Parliamentarian Eyangdu Ubong says, the People's Parliament. Mr. Speaker, the declaration of seats of members representing a Sedeket and Ikono State constituencies vacant by the Speaker of Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly is in compliance with the stipulated law. They cannot defect from the party that brought them to the House and still expect to retain such seats. On ASUU strike, I think there is no cause for worry because members of ASUU are heading to appeal court, and I love their stance. And yes, jumping to the next issue on the floor of the House, talking about the decisions of the Academic Staff Union of University after the industrial court ordered the resuming of school activities pending the determination of the case filed by the federal government against ASUU. ASUU President, Professor Emmanuel Osodeke, has said that they are appealing the case immediately, and reading on the commentaries from legal experts, it shows that regardless of the interlocutory injunction that has been placed by the court, ASUU also has different legal avenues available to it, and the first of that is the appealing of the case, which will even stall the implementation of the court order. And these are just the developments, but then it begs for question as to whether or not education is indeed a priority. And a lot of Nigerians have reacted, especially owing to the fact that the president, Muhammadu Buhari's daughter-in-law, just recently graduated from a university in the UK. And a lot of persons have said, well, if, for instance, their children, the children of the elite, were in the Nigerian universities, probably it would have had education being prioritized. But let's take a quick pause here and head out to our second recess. When we come back, the People's Parliament will continue. But right about now, we will be bringing you the BBC Pidgin News. Do stay with us.
This is Planet in partnership with the BBC. And now, BBC Pidgin Minutes. BBC Pidgin Minutes.
Nigerian Senate don't confirm Justice Olukayode Ariwola as the Chief Justice of Nigeria.
Then confirm Ariwola on Wednesday afternoon after Senate drill am for about 1 hour.
Happy Court for Senegal don't uphold the jail sentence of the mayor of the capital city, Dakar.
Court find Mayor Barthelemy Diaz guilty of intentional bodily harm wey result to death without intention to kill and illegal possession of weapons without authorization.
The case get to do with the 2011 death of one man during one political clash.
Yes, President Biden don't tell UN General Assembly say Russia invasion of Ukraine a shameless violation of the core tenets of the UN Charter.
Biden described the war as brutal and needless.
He said Putin make open nuclear threats against Europe today and advised the world to see this act for waiting it truly be.
Floyd Mayweather say he won't fight UFC star Conor McGregor for one exhibition fight next year.
Mayweather been knock out McGregor for the final fight of his professional career for 2017.
bbc.com/pidgin.
This is the story of two friends who lived in the same neighborhood, Smart and Lucky. Lucky didn't accept the COVID-19 vaccine and stopped everyone in his house from being vaccinated. Before you can say Jack Robinson, there was a COVID-19 outbreak in the area. Lucky and two members of his family got infected. Lucky was sick and couldn't do his business for months. Now, even food to chop no day. His nephew got very sick. The thing no end well at all.
We did all we could, but he didn't make it.
But Smart's case did different. Everybody in his family was vaccinated. Only one person got infected and his symptoms were minor. Who would you rather be, Smart or Lucky?
Protect yourself, family, friends, and community from COVID-19. Get vaccinated sharply.
Do it for love.
Do it for love.
Do it for love.
Uvuto Tav Media Group, Imamenyi Planet Radio, Mama Spectrum Television, and SABA GJ Radio. I am a good Tangsio FM. I'm a go saying, Sumusni 102.7 FM on Radio from 80 Mani Nini Igro Imayan Digidek Avro Iman no say Sumusno. Oh, we're always losing my down. That's your 102.7 FM from two studio. Kunsni TV Mabodi.
The National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, cordially invites all heads of broadcast stations, political correspondents, anchors of current affairs programs, INEC, chairmen and publicity secretaries of political parties, civil society organizations, religious bodies, and the press to a forum with the theme towards a fair and responsible broadcast coverage of the 2023 general elections and multi-stakeholder dialogue. The forum will hold in 4 locations as follows. Canon, Monday 19 September 2022 at the Bristol Hotel, Kano, Lagos, Wednesday 21st September 2022 at Echo Hotel, Victoria Island, Lagos. Enugu, Friday 23rd September 2022 at Bond Platinum Hotel, Enugu. Abuja, Monday 26th September 2022 at NAF Conference Center, Abuja. The forum will start at 10 a.m. each day. Come and partner with the Commission to ensure a professional coverage of the 2023 electoral process. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting. Announcer management.
Glad to welcome you back to the floor of the house this morning. Trusting it's been quite an amazing moment here with you, parliamentarian. I'll quickly take some more comments before coming to the floor of the house. And of course, you can join us via our phone line on 090-2223-1011 or 0817-624-8565. Let's welcome parliamentarians. Hello, welcome to the plenary.
Hello, Mr. Speaker. My name is Emmanuel. I'm calling from Umoh.
The floor is yours, parliamentarian.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I want to say something about Edet because she's doing at the of Assembly. It's a very, very wrong for him to leave the 2 seats vacant. It's very, very bad. I want to say that our parents said we not tolerate that. What a PDP said before, now it's what a PDP said again. Let them.
All right, I have to let that parliamentarian go. He's becoming very emotional, and chances are he might veer out of line, might not abide by the rules and guidelines of a deliberation this morning. Moving away from that, let me come back to the floor of the House. Parliamentarian Paulinus, let's look about the issue. What does this mean for Nigerian democracy, for Akwa Ibom politics? I recall that the lawyer we just spoke with had listed the due process or procedural processes that should have been taken before the seats of the respective members were declared vacant. And of course, another issue under contention has been the fact that another member had defected initially from the APC to the PDP, and his seat was not declared vacant. And regardless of the fact that the Speaker has said he cited instances of division within the party, we have also been privy to the information where the People's Democratic Party is also under crisis. Recall that saw to the exiting of the PDP by Senator Basi Albert, and we saw a very serious crisis before Senator Basi Albert actually left, where Barrister Norfield Luke had alongside Senator Basi Albert took the case to court. And of course, the issue with Kanakon and other stakeholders within the People's Democratic Party. So one can also say there have been crises within the party, and there have been aggrieved members. So what does this portend for a democracy in Akwa Ibom State, where one person seems to be favored and the other seems to be kicked against in terms of political affiliations?
You see, Mr. Speaker, I think we are still at the elementary stage of our democratic process. Politics actually is about conflicts and agreement and disagreements. But a situation where conflict seems to overwhelm agreement, disagreements appears to carpet and ambush agreements. It asks more questions than answers. Mr. Speaker, I think the law that, or let me put it this way, Mr. Speaker, it appears that politicians, they use the Constitution just like some pastors use the Holy Bible. You see, in some churches, some pastors, some reckless pastors, unquote, I'm sorry if I'm being rude, would use the Bible. They pick out one portion of the Bible that would tend to support their emotion.
And quote it out of context.
Out of context, actually. You see, my God is a millionaire. Jesus is a millionaire. So when you want to give money to the pastor, when you want to go for the collection, you should remember that Jesus was a millionaire. Put more money. Maybe there is a portion of the Bible that encourages supporting the church. I'm not so well based with those.
Well, the Bible encourages giving into the house of God.
And there's another portion too that would say that money is material. monetary transaction. Of course, there was a time where Jesus had to invade the temple and push out activities that tended to be more material than spiritual. So it appears to me that we are still at the elementary stage of the process. We should remember that there is a distinction, there's a dichotomy between politics and administration. But unfortunately, politics appears to have swallowed and carpeted the administrative processes. This is why you see that political activities and interests seems to overwhelm the actual administrative processes of governance. So I think what has played out is not spelling any good fortune for the PDP in particular and the democracy, our democracy in general. So I think caution should be applied while exercising what we perceive to be our democratic privileges in the interest of peace.
All right, thank you very much. Let's welcome more parliamentarians. Hello, welcome to the plenary. Hello. All right, we lost that call. Let's welcome more parliamentarians. Hello, welcome to the plenary. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, welcome to the plenary.
Good morning, I'm I'm calling from you. Mr. Speaker, I think the issue that Akwa Ibom has on assembly that is two vacant seats, seats, I think it's an reality. It's individuals that were affected to have done this themselves. Mr. Speaker, misinforming to say because I have not seen of this aspirant during elections, these members of House of Assembly, House of Presidents, or governors named either they are ballot box in the ballot paper. I see local parties. They are there. If they win. They were in the political party go to wherever they go. Syria. That is the system we've been operated. And so I think to have defected from the political party to power, you have known that you ought to have resigned. Why is it that you love the asset aspect of it and forget about the liability? The two things have to move in. Mr. Speaker, the Conservative Assembly has to have the country. It is a way of discouraging non-ideological parties and political structures in Nigeria. I think we have to be circumspect in this regard.
All right, let me quickly ask you, parliamentarian.
People defect from one political party to another.
Let me quickly ask you this. Are you also aware that before now, somebody within the House of Assembly, another member defected from the APC to the PDP, and his seat has now been declared vacant? Hello, parliamentarian. Okay, we lost that call. I'd like to get to hear your reaction to that particular statement and get to see what happens. Hello, good morning. Welcome to the plenary.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Speaker. This is Daniel. I'm calling from Ibono.
Welcome to the plenary. The floor is yours.
Mr. Speaker, I want to say that on the issue of government not empowering the agricultural sector, is one of my issues here, because I recall when the state government, they sent people to come and assess our plans, when if you are into fishery farm, piggery, plantains, like that, so many things, cocoa. So they came here, they took our geometer, they checked everything, what we have in the farm. So they told us that very soon they will give us loan. This loan that will not pay until after 1 year we start paying them. So after all this thing, they took our BVN, account number, passport, and everything. At the end of the day, that loan wasn't granted to us. So as a result of that, because I needed to Jakarta, as they say, so I looked for money because I had this love for piggery farm. So I didn't have anybody to help me. There was nobody to borrow me money, so I had to borrow 100K from my bank. So they said I should pay that money in 2 months. So I used it to buy piglets. I built the pen. So the money wasn't enough to fund the piggery farm and also to buy more of the piglets. So now my bank is against me. They are saying that my money has risen to 180K of interest, which I don't have the money, and the pigs are not yet paid for me to sell them. So, and the other way, the pen is still there. I don't have money. I don't have any help. So I was even glad when the government came. They said they will help us because I'm a guy that likes farming.
All right, thank you very much. A very touching story from an Akwa Ibomite who is passionate, a youth who is passionate about agriculture. Let me come back to the floor of the House. For want of time, we are gradually, running out of time. Let's look at the issue of ASUU. The industrial court had declared, and ASUU is appealing the question. Quite a Nigerian students have also reacted that they are not in support and they will not stand on the case that the interlocutory injunction that has been placed by the industrial court, and they have consistently said they will continue on the protest until the federal government meets up with the demand, and that is to invest in the academic system. How would this play out for the Nigerian students? Parliamentarians, Paulinus, let's start with you.
Well, I think in the interest of education, in the interest of progression, there should be a shift of grounds. ASUU has their right. Of course, ASUU is a bunch of intellectuals. ASUU is a group you cannot cow, you cannot push around. But in the interest of the students who have been around, been in the house for about 7 months now, I think there should be a shift of grounds. One, on the area of the court injunction, court order, teaching is not... the business of teaching is something that has a lot to do with the mindset and environment. Teachers cannot be forced to teach. And of course, if that is done, I can assure you that they won't do well. So the court, to force them to go to school, back to school, to the classroom, is the word force or order rather. The word order is not very useful in this circumstance. In the circumstance we find ourselves, the word order.
All right.
Not very useful.
A lot of the Nigerians would also agree with you that we all want students to get back to school.
Yeah.
But then, looking at the historical facts in front of us, over time, ASUU have oftentimes, shifted grounds with the federal government. They've gone into several negotiations, several agreements, several MOUs, and MOAs have been signed, and then they've been updated. And ASUU has always been the one shifting grounds in the interest of the Nigerian student. And over time, the federal government have always been the one failing to honor its terms in those different MOUs and MOAs. And this time around, ASUU is saying, we do not want a repeat of what has happened for the past almost 2 decades. We want a situation where the Nigerian academic system is revitalized. We want a system where the Nigerian academic student or the graduates can compete favorably with their contemporaries outside the shores of Nigeria. And where that is not done, we are not going back to the class. And everyone will say this is in the interest of the Nigerian academic system. I mean, if with the level of quality that we have now, we still find half-baked graduates who are not even fit for the labor market, then what would happen if the ASUU continues to go back and then the quality of education keeps dropping because of poor investment in the academic system? Would that be in the overall best interest of the Nigerian students or Nigeria at large?
Of course it will not be. You see, I can point out 2 things in this war. 1, war of ego. The war of ego. And 2, something is missing there's a disconnect. Maybe the federal government is unable to comply completely to their demands. And 2, on the side of the ASUU, maybe they don't believe that the federal government is unable to comply. For one, when you look at the quality of life of an average teacher, let us generalize now. A teacher in Nigeria does not have that, that pride of self. I am a teacher. Though I'm not saying they are not paid well, a teacher in Nigeria does not appear to have that pride of, that sense of pride. I am a teacher. But if you see a politician somewhere now, maybe even a councillor, would boastfully tell you anywhere, he's a councillor, they honor him, honorable. He lives fine, comfortably paid, makes some good money before he leaves office. But before a teacher in Nigeria would build a comfortable house, drive a good car, have command over some demands, it will take time. So maybe it's based on these that the ASUU, it's not just to facilitate and to equip school system and all of that. I think there is something they have not said. There is something inside, emotional. They feel to be relegated. They feel that they are relegated by the federal government. They feel the federal government has not prioritized education the way it should be.
And that is the right move that should be done if we have to grow.
Something is missing.
Let's welcome more conversation. Hello, good morning. Yes.
Speaker, looking at the headlines for today, looking at the discussion for today, let's just applaud the Nkari for being in the House of Assembly to be attacking people, declaring it totally. I think that was the only job that we employed him, that we voted him to do in Akwa Ibom State. Coming to the other side, see what ASUU likes, what ASUU disagree, and they agree. But what we need to know that we need to go back to school so that we complete our things and then we pass our things out of the school. I beg of them. Thank you very much. And remember that the photo from the
All right, thank you very much, Parliamentarian. One more comment from our Facebook page. Parliamentarian Vuna Digland says, watching live from Ebonyi State, weakest faction, the right, as they say that you must go because North can't have the presidential candidate and still have the national chairman. Meanwhile, where's the equity and fairness among the members of the political party? Therefore, I'm of the opinion that Atiku should make his way to be in order by calling on Ayi to step down for the South unless he's not assured of his victory come 2023. Thank you for being there. Thanks for joining us. And of course, that's the size of the comments we have on our Facebook page. Let me come back to you, Parliamentarian Otuekong, the issue of ASUU. A lot of students are of the opinion that ASUU should not call off the strike. ASUU itself has said they will not call off the strike. Recall when ASUU started this industrial action on the 14th of February, it was a warning strike and the federal government didn't respond to it until it skyrocketed out of proportion. And now, before then, the issue of no pay, no work, or no work, no pay came into existence. And ASUU said, even if it meant them hogging sachet water on the streets to survive, that they were going to do that. This time around, they're not going to, cave into the hunger tactics of the federal government. And they have maintained that stand up until now. Now, what do you think would happen if they finally, or should at this point decide, to go back to the academic system without the government releasing the needed finance? Don't forget, over this period of time, a lot of financial obligation has been embarked upon by the federal government into other projects that we as Nigerians have seen. And even the looted Abacha funds that was returned to Nigeria within this time frame, which a lot of persons are of the opinion should have been used to settle ASUU, was channeled to some other thing that Nigerians don't really see the need. So going forward, what do you think will be the fate of the academic system if ASUU should at this point decide to go back to school? Is there a possibility that the federal government will prioritize education, knowing that whenever the situation arises, whatever happens, when the stakes are high, ASUU will always go back?
Mr. Speaker, I've been one person that have declined comment on this ASUU federal government first off, but I want to say something today. It bleeds my heart when we see a country that is God has so blessed with resources and human resources also. But for about 7 months going, our students are in their houses, while ASUU has equally taken it to their heart and said, we will not bend our rules, and federal government is keeping quiet. In a country, you have someone who has no educational background as Minister for Education, who is not showing working. You see him, he doesn't have remorse, and to be in charge of education for 8 years going. And you have an ASUU president and who equally bent and saying no. And the children are not equally schooling in Nigeria. The ASUU president, the children are not schooling here. ministers, governors, president, and every top shot, even a councillor in Nigeria, send their children abroad for schooling. What do you expect of a system where it's as an assistant director children in government ministry, both in federal and in state, are schooling outside Nigeria, where there is no law banning public office holders from sending your children to school? There's a picture training of a president's daughter graduating with first class in UK university.
Yeah.
Now, what happened that if the child was to be in Nigerian university, facing what we are facing, as we are shouting that people are in the house, so many of them that are rich, the rich are sending them. So some of that are schooling in Nigeria are going to private universities, and the children of the poor are the ones suffering. And the poor, they will be the one that will collect 500 naira, collect rice, and sell their conscience in terms of voting. So the ASUU have heard a lot of things that happen in our universities. Someone committing suicide in the University of Benin because of hardship. So many in University of Umoh here, I know some that are calling people, to leave. So a lot of things are happening. So for me, this federal government is not ready to dialogue with ASUU. ASUU, at the end of the day, you see you have gone to courts that is being paid by federal government. They return you. So the issue is, this is the same ASUU universities that produce best of lawyers that we have and judges and court and the judgment go against them. So what I would have pleaded with ASUU, for the benefit of your members, the people that are dying, for the benefit of those that are poor within you, can you call up the strike? We talk about money that's about childhood that would have been channeled to ASUU. Education in Nigeria generally, not even in federal government, they're about bastardized. In Akwa Ibom here, a primary school teacher cannot boast of 3 square meals because the education is something else. But Akwa Ibom people will not talk about it. They will talk about that of ASUU. So I want to plead with ASUU. ASUU, please, have mercy on our young people. And the young people that are, the National Association of Nigerian Students, this is the first time I heard you exist. While I said so because of the kind of impact you created, but don't go to highways. If you are coming to block Ikoro Road, what is it? What effect? Move your rally to National Assembly, 3-arm zone. Block the Supreme Court. Go to State House, also rock. Do it there. You will be encouraged by Nigerians. But when you are going to airport, going to block Lagos Ibadan Expressway, it's meant of no effects. So that's my take on ASUU.
All right, thank you very much. I'll take the last comment as the last formality for you, Parliamentarian Otuekong success. Just a few moments for you, Parliamentarian as Paulinus, to wrap up your point.
Mr. Speaker, on the area of the declaration of the vacant seat, I think it should be a horizontal or a vertical arrangement. The same law that guides us here in the state should be the same at the national level. If a legislator defects to another party, there should be a constitutional arrangement that enforces that forces him to be, forces the seat to be declared open, vacant. It should be vertical from top to down. Then on the area of ASUU, well, I would appeal to the ASUU to understand that the system these days don't seem to appreciate the function, the role of education. So we should tolerate them because they don't know. If they know the value of education, they will prioritize, they will rearrange the scale of preference and know where to fix the educational sector in that scale of preference. Then on the side of the celebration, 35 years of our existence, I appreciate God for making us live to this day. I appreciate past leaders in particular. I appreciate the development so far, but I want to point out the development is centrifugal. It's within the state capital. The development at the rural areas are nothing to write home about. They should decentralize. We should not have a colonial hangover where in the colonial days where they centralize development where the colonial masters live. It's a sort of a hangover. So we should decentralize development. That's my take.
All right, thank you very much, Parliamentarian Paulinus and Otuekong success for joining us. And yes, to you, Parliamentarian, who joined us via phone call and on a social media platform, thank you very much for being today's voices for the common folks. In Nigeria, it is about that time where we get to rise up to the fate of our greatness and, of course, do due diligence by getting our PVC and preparing ourselves, looking critically, being politically involved and well-informed to choose leaders who have track records that we can verify of giving back to the larger society. Because until we have people in position of leadership, who have the fear of God, who are people-centered in their orientation and mindset, people who are passionately committed to serving the people, then we possibly would not be having all of the dividends of democracy that we are campaigning for. My name is Francis Edet, and on behalf of the People's Parliament, I appreciate you. And by the power vested on me as a speaker, I hereby declare the Thursday plenary officially closed for today, and wish you to have a very beautiful and blessed day. See you again tomorrow, same time, same station, for another interesting plenary session. Bye-bye.